Good morning, what's shaking, what's happening? Welcome back to Tasty Bites Timeless Travels. Today is day 121, and also 120 and 119 of our Holland America cruise around the world. What happened the past few days? Well, join us and find out. What a nice, beautiful sea day in the Atlantic Ocean. It's actually 75 degrees today. You can tell we're back in the Atlantic because of the seaweed. It is all over. We actually dock in Puerto Rico tomorrow, so we must be getting closer and closer to land. All right, so why the jump to day 121? Well, ooh, it's a little breezy. There we go. Quite honestly, I think I just got super burnt out and I got really sick day 119 and 120. Either that or there is something that's kind of going around the ship, and I got that. One of the two. Either cruise crud or I was tired. But either way, I spent 2 days in the bed. So, and there wasn't a whole lot happening. I think what I missed was one repertory company nighttime show, a vocalist maybe, yeah, I don't know. Nothing spectacular for meals. We did go yesterday for lunch. They did have a shawarma buffet, so that was pretty cool. And yesterday they also had the Mariner lunch, so that's a loyalty lunch they have at the tail end of every voyage based on your Mariner level. I don't quite know all the specifics with it, but I will tell you the menu that we were sent for yesterday's was very, very elevated. So I don't know if it's because we're 4-star or because if it's a Grand War voyage, but I don't know. I had steak and lobster on it, but we opted for the shawarma bar because I had been so sick the day prior. Shawarma bar was really good, and it also wasn't busy because so many people were at the Mariner lunch. They had to have 2 in one day, which is a little different. And then, yeah, we hit up the main dining room last night, but now we are today. So, what's on tap today is coffee with Kimberly, some pool time because it's warm. The guest talent show is today. It's Cinco de Mayo. We got a lot going on, so we're going to start with dinner last night, then jump to coffee with Kimberly, and then hit up the rest of Cinco de Mayo. So, let's go. All right, appetizers have arrived. C got a shrimp cocktail. You know, it's just as pretty as it always has been. And I was kind of boring also. I just got the French onion soup, still trying to get better. So, soup it is. And the other one was cream of mushroom, which is like a cream-based soup, and I don't want to do that. So. All right, entrees have arrived. So you just went with a plain, simple New York strip. It is supposed to come with fries, but they didn't bring her any, but I don't think we're feeling fries tonight anyway, so it's all good. And then for me, I went with the steak special tonight. It's our very last formal night, so I went for the steak Diane. This looks really good, though it might be a little too rich for me having been sick, but we'll see. All right, looks like it is time for, this is probably our final gift is what I'm guessing. It is the plates. So let's take a look-see and see what they look like. Yep, it's the commemorative plate 2025 Grand World Voyage on the Zuiderdam to finish off the trip with. I think this is probably our last gift. Is that what you think, C?
I think so.
Yeah, I think it's our final gift.
It also came with a plate hanger.
Yeah. Oh,
as well.
Came with the plate hanger. All right, good times. My goodness, this is a beautiful day. Like, check it out. Check out the beauty of the Atlantic Ocean today. It's funny, you know, we've sailed around the world, we've seen all these different oceans and seas, and, you know, I don't think I've ever seen the Atlantic look so pretty. Maybe I'm just that ready to be home. Who knows? But let's talk about the day. So, Coffee with Kimberly was actually coffee about Kimberly, and it was a complete shock to Kimberly. They pulled off the ultimate surprise. I think they sent her a fake daily and everything. They had pulled Coffee with Kimberly off the app, and I was very confused as to why they would do that. And I thought, oh no, Kimberly's sick again. But it was a day to finally celebrate Kimberly and Coffee with Kimberly. So that was really, really neat. She was really interesting to hear her story of how she got to where she's at in her life. And, you know, she'd started on cruise ships and done some home shopping network stuff and that entire realm of that thing and QVC and all that stuff. And came to Holland and got hired. It was supposed to start right when COVID happened. Like, she was getting ready to go. She had sold everything, and then COVID broke out. And they said, oh, no ships are going. We don't even know if you're going to have a job. But it was very nice meeting you, sort of deal. But eventually was allowed to come back. She also talked about how steadfast she was about how she wanted her career to go with Holland. That she saw what she wanted and what fulfilled her in life. And she wasn't going to take no for an answer. And when they originally pushed back on her and said, no, but this is what we see for you, she said, okay, well, let's plan my exit strategy. And I thought, man, like, how amazing are you? How strong of a person are you to say, well, okay, well, we have different views, and this is not where I want my career to go, so I'll go somewhere else in my career if you don't want me here. And end up getting what she wanted. So props to her. So good coffee chat. She also said, you know, everyone's had a tough life, and you know, she's no exception, and everyone has ups and downs in their lives and this, that, and the other. She said when she was a child, she would get 5 minutes to be upset, and then it was time to move on, and that's kind of how she was taught, and that's kind of how she was raised. And she said, it doesn't work for everybody, but it does work for me. And she said, you know, sometimes you just got to move on. And she quoted the Shawshank Redemption where it said, you know, you either get busy living or you get busy dying. And she made a decision she was going to be busy living. And it kind of brings me back to kind of what we're doing and why we took this cruise. So, good coffee chat. And then Cinco de Mayo lunch. I do love a good Mexican buffet. They did a very good attempt at it today. Something I did like is they spread it out. So the home style was Mexican. They did a different taco bar. They put it in the sushi area, and then so it had a little bit more room, but that had the longest line. But when they did all that, they actually spread the crowd out. The only weird thing is they took away the original taco bar. They should have probably left that. But who doesn't love a good Fiesta Cinco de Mayo Mexican buffet lunch? And they're running $5 margarita specials today, so they're all walking around with them, the beverage team, selling $5 margaritas. So that's always a good time. And then today was the guest talent show. That's always fun. That's always interesting. It's always interesting to hear everyone's story and why they're here and to see their talent. And some people were amazing. Somebody that C goes to church with sang Impossible Dream a cappella, which is a feat all in itself, and she sounded really good. The line dancing class had put together something. One of the lecturers came back and started singing opera. And then the coolest thing is when the show opened, it was a lady singing Someone to Watch Over Me, and she didn't have a backup track. And Gabriel from Billboard, you know, Kimberly had to text out when they had rehearsals, and she was like, oh no, I was hoping somebody would play the piano. She texted the entertainment team, and apparently Gabriel said, oh, I'll be there in 10 minutes. And was like, okay, what song are we doing? All right, I got it. And then just played it, and you know, props to him. And you know, she was so thankful, and the lady was so thankful, and you know, it just shows how nice things like this can be. So good time. So now it is time for dinner. So we are going to hit dinner up in the main dining room tonight. We had some good pool time today, too, because this is a gorgeous day. We are back in the Caribbean. We are almost home. And when this cruise started, I thought I was going to dread going home, but I'm ready to be there. But, man, I tell you, it's a beautiful day. When it's beautiful days like today, you do kind of say, I wish we had a few more days. But hit up some dinner, and then I don't know what we're going to do for nightlife tonight. I think C's going to hit up the Rolling Stone Lounge bin. I might call it an early night and get ahead on work, because tomorrow is Puerto Rico, our very last port stop of the cruise. So we still got to watch that port talk, but I think we're just going to Old Town Puerto Rico anyway. But let's hit up dinner. See you in the main dining room. All right, appetizers have arrived, and C and I both got the same appetizer, and it looks exactly the same. We got the hummus. Now, remember, obviously we're on repeat menus. She got the bread tonight. She doesn't always get the bread when we've gotten this dish, but she got it tonight. So let's enjoy some hummus. All right, it's a double appetizer night. She got a cute little salad. It's adorbs. They were supposed to have pot stickers on the menu tonight, but took them off. Bummed us both out. But she got this nice looking, healthy little salad. Good for her. I got the enchilada soup because it's still slightly Cinco de Mayo here. So, ole. All right, entrees have arrived. She got the tri-tip, and it came with a lovely little baked potato. Oh, what a cute little baked potato. Me, I got the fresh fish Oaxacan style. This is not exactly how I envisioned it, but we're gonna give it a go. And with that, we're gonna call it a night, and we're gonna call it 3 days. Beautiful, beautiful day at sea. Dinner was good. My fish was a little spicy. I think it was the salsa. I don't know. It was spicy. Sea is over tri-tip. But, you know, only a few more days and we're at home cooking our own food again. So that should be good. As far as the evening's concerned, we did a little casino, a little Rolling Stone, and called it a night. Tempest must be out because it's a boys' night at the Rolling Stone unexpectedly. So they had a big night of music last night that I did miss. But I know she had a big song in it. So I hope her vocal cords are okay. So it sounds like maybe something happened there. But it's time to call it a night because tomorrow is our final port stop of this entire cruise, and it is San Juan, Puerto Rico. I have never been. I am super excited. Hopefully the weather will work out for us tomorrow. Also tomorrow, because we are going to a U.S. port, and it is our last port stop, we actually will go through immigration tomorrow. We won't have to do it in Fort Lauderdale, so that'll make it nice and simple when we get off. The other thing happening is it is our very last time change of the cruise. You can set it to San Juan or you can set it to Miami, Fort Lauderdale, New York. Call it as you see it. Eastern Standard Time. So, been around the world. Amazing. Amazing back in Eastern Standard Time. What's even crazier is, so our internet for this entire cruise, it started in Fort Lauderdale, and then the provider was out of New Zealand, and then went to South Korea for a little bit. It's been Germany. And it finally went back to being an internet out of Fort Lauderdale today. And so for the first time since February, we could look at the Publix ad. Random things you miss when you travel. So that was exciting to log in and see Publix like show us what was on sale. Because we have to go grocery shopping on Saturday, which is so weird to say. We've been in so many grocery stores in these past 4 months with no intention of really buying a whole lot other than snacks. And we will finally have to walk into a grocery store on Saturday with the intention of buying food to cook. Crazy as this all wraps up. So make sure you hit that notification button, like, subscribe, and all that fun social stuff as we prepare for that final port stop tomorrow, and to finish up this cruise around the world and to see what's coming up next with Tasty Bites Timeless Travels, because the adventures will not end with the world cruise. But that's it for the night. So have a great night. Bye.